Hey, thanks for jumping on a Zoom call and doing this recording. And just wanted to have you go through and show us what you do to put in an offer on a home. I know you kind of have a quick way of making that happen. You've done a lot of these. How many offers do you think you've put in so far in your career?
Offers, that's probably 300s, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, I would say hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah.
offers over the years. So, anyway, awesome. I'll turn it over to you. I might have some questions for you, but go ahead and show us what you do.
Awesome. So we're just on the MLS page right now. And so usually how I do it is I go to showing time. So if I showed the property, this is the easiest way to kind of find it. I go to my appointments. And then let's say I'm showing this house tonight. So if my clients were interested in it, I click on it. Hopefully this loads. Oh, nope, we're having issues with that. So what I'll do is I'll just copy and paste the MLS number. So I copy and paste the MLS number in here. Now we're there. We click on the property. So this is the property.
Okay, so where'd you get that MLS? Where'd you get that MLS number from?
So I got that from the Showing Time app. So whenever I show a property, I just do it through the Showing Time. I go back to the Showing Time app because
okay,
I don't remember the addresses. I don't remember the numbers. I don't remember any of that stuff. So this is the way for me to just go click, boom, boom. It's 3 clicks, and then I'm already into the.
Yeah, that was terrific. I've never seen that before. Doing it that way.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's what I do. So now this one, you have the MLS page. So this is the front page for it. Here is the Instanet forms. So I click on this, and this will auto-populate a lot of the information for the housing information. So now it's popping it up, and we have formats already saved. So you'll see right here, we have the Bannermere Team Purchase Agreement. What you can do is you can go to your settings and create these transaction folders like this. And so it helps make it easier. So then you don't have to keep doing the same things over and over again and re-adding stuff. So I already have these altered and saved to my specific needs and requirements.
So what goes in that group thing then? Is that like all the forms you're going to need for that purchase agreement? Is that what pops in there?
Yeah. So this one's all the forms I need or I might need. And so each one's a little bit different. So sometimes you might need something else. You might need like the lead paint disclosure, or you might need well and septic, or whatever the case may be. This has all those documents in there, and then I just click the ones I need.
And then, so if I don't have that, I can just go click those documents I need. I mean, it's pretty much the, if I show it on here, but it's pretty much going to be the purchase agreement, the disclosure, or the
arbitration, disclosures, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so the 3 main documents you're going to need, or you really need 2, and the 2 are going to be the purchase agreement and arbitration disclosure, and then I always add the personal property agreement, and I'll show you why in a little bit. I just prefer to have that a part of it because it helps mitigate any issues or any people trying to change out appliances and things like that later on down the road. So then we don't have that issue. So with here, you can add kind of the details into here. So this one's for, what price is it? $415. Let's say we're offering for $445. $445, I'll put it in there. Earnest money is usually about 1%. So we'll just do round up to $5,000. So I put that in there. So this will auto-populate it into the purchase agreement. I click, I can kind of add more info here. Closing date, let's say 30 days. Let's do the 30th because this month's February. We'll go to the next thing. This is just the agent information, that kind of a deal. And so now you come to this page where it has kind of the documents. This is then I go into these documents and I add things that are necessary specifically to this purchase agreement. So first we'll go to the purchase agreement document, which is down here, which you can kind of see where my mouse is on. We'll go there, and it's loading. So then what I do is I put the date in here. So you click the date, whatever. See, it already populated the earnest money amount. With this though, there's 2 ways you can put the buyer information in. You can type it in manually, or when you go to signatures, it will actually populate it in there as well. So I like to just do it through my signatures because then I don't have to type their information in, and it saves me a little bit of time, and it just drops it in there for me.
And it makes sure that there's no spelling errors or something like that too, I imagine.
Yeah. And that's when you do that too, before you kind of get this started, go to your contacts. You see this contact card, add your clients in your contacts, because it just makes it easier for all the signing and all the stuff, anything you possibly need. It just makes it a lot more easier to deal with it than having to type it all in, try to do it all over the same time. If you don't put it in your contacts, a lot of times it doesn't save it into your contacts. So then you have to keep re-adding a contact every single time you write a purchase agreement, and it's just a hassle. So if you put it in there the one time, you never have to do it again.
Perfect.
So we go down here, see the $5,000 earnest money, go through this stuff. Let's say my clients, so see, we put the price into the other portion of this. So the price is auto-populated in here. Same thing with the closing date. Let's say my clients are doing 10%. So we do 10% there, 90% here. So we add these things in. And these are the questions you're going to talk to the lender about and your clients about.
Yeah, and so that's you're gonna find out from them that they're gonna be putting 10% down in cash, 90% is gonna be financed. You're gonna find that out from both your buyer and the mortgage. Okay.
Yeah, because the lender might, hey, they need to put this much cash down, or the client might go, hey, we have the ability to do whatever we want. So they're gonna go, hey, we'll do a larger down payment, we'll do a smaller down payment. It depends on the situation. And so line 52, I just have these already pre-checked. And so like we talked about before, when you go in your settings, you can save these documents like this already. So they're already pre-checked, so it saves you a lot of time. And then if you need to change something, then you just change it as when you're going through it. But I usually have the same purchase agreement, very, very similar. The only thing that changes is price and a few other things, and closing dates and stuff. But this is the way to keep it much more efficient, so you can write an offer in less than 15 minutes. So it says it is contingent on a financing. It is a first mortgage because that's the most common. It does not require a grant program, which is very common. Conventional is what I usually work with. But if it's an FHA, I click FHA. If it's USDA, I do USDA, veterans loans, whatever it is, I do it that way. And right here on line 66, you see how I have these already marked in here. You can kind of put whatever. It's usually me 30 years and whatever percentage. It doesn't really matter too much, but I already have it just pre-programmed into this, so then we don't have to worry about that. Usually selling agents are going to want you to click this box right here, but it depends on the situation, how many offers there are, whatever. This is just saying there's gonna be a written statement by the lender saying, hey, we're clear to close. If you get the written statement done and you're not able to close on time, technically the sellers can cancel. So it's one of those things you want to make sure your lender can do the job. But then I usually like to do this because more times than not, the agent's going to request you to do that, even if there's not other offers on the property.
And so where do you put that out? Do you put that out like a week before closing or something, or what?
Yeah, it depends on how long the closing transaction is. Usually I do about 5-ish days before closing, but if let's say I'm doing a 60-day closing, I might do it about 45 days into the transaction. So it really depends on the closing date, but I usually 3 to 5 days is kind of the standard. So we'll keep moving down. We'll keep soon and see how everything's auto-populated because I went through the MLS and I did it that way instead of trying to add it in myself. So it saves me a lot of time doing that. Here I have this populated too. It just says anytime the buyer can lock in their interest rate anytime prior to closing. I just do that one because usually that's 9 times out of 10 what you're going to want to do. Gives them the most options possible. This one I put lender $0 in here because usually when we're doing this in a hard market, we're trying not to ask the sellers for anything. And if we get to a point where we need them to do work orders, usually we're far enough into the transaction that they're willing to help because they're like, okay, we just want to close, and hopefully we can renegotiate at that time. But this, when you ask for this, it's just kind of a red flag to sellers or seller agents. FHA, you're gonna have to put you have to put the numbers in here, but let's say we're doing a conventional loan, so we don't have to do that. FHA, DVA, you'd have to put stuff in here, but since we're doing a conventional loan, we don't have to worry about that as either. We keep scrolling through, so we can skip all that stuff. Right here, it just says the sellers are not contributing to closing costs. Usually most of my clients don't ask for closing costs. If they have to, you click is, and you put the dollar amount or a percentage, so whatever works. But I'm going to do is not contributing because that's what's really common in today's market.
Common right now. I mean, prior to the last probably 12 months, then it was probably common all the time to have 3% in there. Usually,
yeah, 3%. And it really, not even the last 12 months, maybe the last 2 years, we haven't asked for closing costs. But before that, you'd have 3%. Sometimes you'd have 1%. Sometimes it varied on the situation. But as soon as there's multiple offers, it doesn't make sense to ask for it. And usually when you get your closing costs covered or a portion of it, it's going to be during the inspection period when we renegotiate terms or whatever the case may be. Line 170 though, I just have it says elects to have a property inspected. You can say elects or declines and click decline. Then you want to remove all these check boxes. But usually most of my clients do an inspection. It's very rare for us not to do an inspection. So we usually say elects. We say right here 172 is not subject to, or it is not, or it is contingent upon the inspection. So we have to have the inspection and be okay with what the findings are. And there's inspections don't mean there's not pass or fail. It's what are the clients willing to, are they okay with it or not okay with it? And a lot of times clients are confused. They think it's a pass or fail type deal, and it's not. It's just, are they okay with it? Are they not okay with it? Can we renegotiate some terms? Can we not renegotiate? And that's kind of the situation. Line 179 just says we do not allow intrusive testing. So they're not going to drill into the foundation or do anything crazy like that. And so almost never in Minnesota we does because it's just not very common. You might have some crazy situation where you do does, so then you'll have that check. You just change it at that point in time. Usually I do about 5 business days or 5 calendar days. Sometimes you do less, sometimes you do more depending on the situation. So if there's no other offers, I'll put 7 on there just because it gives us a little bit more breathing room to negotiate. And line 194 is where
Jake,
yep.
If I can go back to that, I mean, just kind of a point, because I think this is a big one that is confusion out there. So if I put 5 calendar days in there, final acceptance day, and we'll hit that later here, but the final acceptance day, say that the calendar days, the final acceptance days is February 5th. Okay, so that'd be the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. So the end of the 10th is when
at 11:59 p.m.
11:59 p.m. And so if nothing happens in that time frame, nobody asks or they don't agree to fix anything or whatever it is, then the contract goes on just like nothing's happened. Is that correct?
That is correct. Nothing happened. It just moves on. You don't get anything. So make sure you're very conscious of the time frame, because you can't be lazy in this. You can't, oh, I'm gonna wait, take my time. You have to be on top of your clients. You have to make sure that paperwork's in there. And then you have to be on top of the other agent. If they delay stuff, usually we can get around it. If they took too long to counter us or just answer or respond or whatever, usually we can get around it. But it's also your fault if you don't get the paperwork into them quickly enough. So make sure you do that quickly. Line 194 though, this is where we put our specific verbiage for inspections. So this one we use this verbiage, and it just says the buyers agree that the inspection is conducted to satisfy the buyer's offer. Buyers agree not to request sellers to make minor repairs. Inspection findings shall be limited to mechanical, health, and structural concerns. And the reason why I do it this way, and I say it this way, and I make sure I call the agent and tell them that this is going to be a part of it. And then in my cover letter, I also make sure that they're aware that this is a part of it as well. I already have this pre-populated because then I don't have to go and try to find this. What I used to do is actually go to Google Docs and copy and paste it in here, but it's much quicker if you have it already pre-programmed in here. If you want to remove it, you can, you just delete it. And so this is the way to do it though, to make it much more efficient and quick. So we keep going through, and so here usually most of my clients are non-contingent or not contingent, so they are we click this. If they are contingent, you click this one or this one depending on the situation. So this one would be if they are sorry, one second. Sorry, somebody's calling me. This one would be buyer's property. So this one would be if you already have if you have an addendum to it. This one would be, sorry, what was that?
Oh, that's fine. Yep, I get, yep.
This one is if you have an addendum, so you have to add an addendum to it. This one is if it's already sold, you don't need an addendum. You just have to put the information in there. So this one though is if it's non-contingent. So these are the 2 contingencies. These are non-contingent. And so right here it just says all real estate taxes are prorated the day of closing. I usually always have it the same way, all this stuff. So you see prorated, shall, seller shall, has not, or so usually it has not received any notice, that kind of deal. This is just saying they have any work orders, that kind of deal. Is not subject to cancellation usually, which is pretty common because you only have this check is if you already have an offer accepted and you are canceling it, and so then you're waiting for that cancellation. But that's very rare to happen. Right here, warranty deed's the most common. We might do a personal representative deed, contract for deed, trustee's deed, whatever, depending on the situation. So sure. It depends on that situation. Yeah, so we keep going through. We take possession immediately after closing. This may vary in your offer. So sometimes we do other and we go, hey, we will take possession 24 hours after closing, whatever, however you want to write that.
Sure.
And we do that if we negotiate that with the sellers, because we go, hey, we don't need to move in right away, but you guys have to move into your new place. How about we give you some time so then you don't have to feel rushed moving out of your property?
Sure.
So we keep going through here, and it just talks about title examinations, prorations, all this different stuff. I don't really explain this too thoroughly to clients because it's not super important. It's just a lot of information. But if they want to, I go in more detail. But usually most of them want to skip over it because it's not the important pieces. I always point out time of essence, just saying, hey, making sure we do everything quickly. Calculation of days, I also point that out to the clients and saying, hey, almost everything's calendar days. It's very rarely business days. And so making sure that, hey, when our last day is at 11:59 p.m. So there's no confusion on, oh, is that at the end of the 5 o'clock or is it at whatever? You always know it's at 11:59 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Keep going. And it's always calendar days, 99% of the time, except for like the well and septic will be like business days sometimes, I think, or yeah, well and septic is like business days or something like that. Where then you know it, but you'll read it, you'll be aware of it. Disclosures, it depends on what disclosure they have. Usually it's regular, sometimes it's alternative. So you just pick it as it is. City sewer usually is the case of the property I'm doing. So you can check right here, you scroll down, you go private. So this one, private well, private mound system, so sewer. So then we'll say no city sewer, no city water, is subject to an addendum. And so we would add an addendum for that. That's just the well and septic testing. Right here, usually I say no to home warranties because I like to have the inspection before we buy a home warranty. But if you wanted to, you can click here. You can click buyer to issue, buyer to obtain it. Or wait, is it? Yeah, paid by seller, issued by the buyer. So then it lets your buyer choose which home warranty you want to purchase instead of having the seller pick out one for you. And then you put a number in here. But usually it's no home warranty. Right here, it's already pre-filled for me. So it's just seller's agent, buyer's agent. It automatically kind of fills this in for you. So you don't have to worry about that too much. This one, dual agency does not exist. So we click dual agency does not exist. We keep going through here. Scrolling down, electronic signatures are legal in the state of Minnesota. Right here, I have the appraisal gap clauses. We have 3 different clauses that we personally use. So depending on the situation, I just modify them. So a lot of times I say this one, my clients want to do a $5,000 appraisal gap clause. I'll just use this one. That's what I kind of leave in there. And so if you want more information on this stuff, we'll send you more on it. It's just, I have the 3 that we use as our team uses. So I keep them in there so I can just easily move them or replace them as needed.
Nice.
So we keep going down here, depending on the age of the home. So this home is, see, where's the year built on it? 74. So anything pre-78 has to have a lead paint addendum. So then you're gonna go right here, you click lead paint addendum, disclosure. Right here, you're gonna pick, where is it? There we go. Addendum for subsurface sewage treatment system and well inspection. So because this home is rural or a more rural area, that's what you have to do. If it was a townhome, you have to do a CIC addendum, which is right here. So you click that one. But this is not a townhome or an HOA, so you don't have to worry about that. So here, it usually it's you see the disclosures and I'll say is or is not. 90% of the time it is not for in person, but again, check the disclosures, make sure you do that stuff. This one you check, the sellers are going to check usually if you're going to, if there's an addendum. So, but that's a counter offer addendum. Here, I don't put the names in here because I do the signature portion of it and the signatures do it for me. And so we keep going through here, wire fraud, just make sure they get the signatures done.
That'll populate as well.
Yeah, that populates as well when you do the signatures. So this is the purchase agreement piece. Sorry, I got distracted for a second. We'll go back now. And so we go back, I just click back. So this is how I do it. Because then I can kind of fill out these documents as I like them. So disclosure arbitration, really easy. You really don't have to do too much with this document. It's already pre-filled out. All you got to do is get signatures in here. And you can put the print names in with the signature piece, which I'll show you in a second. But this is just a way that makes it easier. So we go back, so we don't have to worry about that one too much. Then let's say we have subsurface sewage treatment system. So this is how I do it. You can do it differently. You can do it however you want. But I usually do 10 days on this one. So we put the dates in, pop that bad boy in, we pop that in. We go to here, we say subsurface sewage treatment system, 10 calendar days. oh, yeah, this is calendar. 10 calendar days, and we say seller agrees to obtain it. Usually I have the seller do it unless it's really, really competitive and we're trying to get a little bit of an edge. Same thing with well, we do private well, seller, they do 10 days. And then what I like to do here is actually add verbiage saying, license, all right, license, I'll write license company to pump septic prior to closing. And then and then right down here, I'll do license company to test water, because I like to have it. Sometimes I've had a agent try to do a at-home test and the lenders don't like that. So they did it. They did the physical, they paid for the real test, but it's one of those things that you make sure that you put that in there, just saying, hey, the sellers agree to have a licensed company come do it, because you don't want them to try to do something funky or be weird about it. So that's what we do with that one. So we can go back again. And so this will all save when you do it this way. And then the KW personal property agreement. This is the one I was kind of telling you about before. So I do this one. This is why I do it. It just protects your clients from the sellers replacing appliances or doing something funny. So I always write, the sellers agree to sell with the home the following appliances. And then what I do is, to make it quick, I go here and I go copy and paste appliances. Copy, paste, pop that in right here. And then I go period, and I do as seen on 20, or what today's 2/5/225, so 2/25/2022. And I do it that way because then it's like, hey, there's no changing the avocado green refrigerator with the stainless steel one. You know, it's like, hey, this is what's supposed to be with the property. And so then there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So it's just an extra protection.
If there was something else that you wanted to have,
yeah, like let's say window treatment.
So if it was curtains that they were going to leave in the kitchen, that would go in there.
Yeah, so you add it in here. You say sellers agree to sell with home window treatments.
Okay.
You do that, or hot tub, or whatever it might be.
Sure. Yep.
You add it into this portion of it, and then it's just a secondary piece. And so then there's no ifs, ands, or buts, because it's written in there, and there's no like some of the other stuff could be manipulated because the basic contract says, oh, this is supposed to stay, but technically it might not be able to stay, or whatever. They might, oh, we didn't mean to sell this. This makes sure that everybody's aware of what they're signing and what's staying with the home. So there's no question at closing where they go in, oh my gosh, they took the washer and dryer. It's like, no, they didn't take it because we have a contract saying they're not allowed to take it. And then with this one too, I need to add the lead paint disclosure. So lead paint, we'll do that. This will pop up. Lead paint brochure. Make sure you send that to your clients. Addendum, lease agreement, purchase agreement. There we go. Purchase agreement. Make sure as you click purchase agreement one, because if you click lease agreement, that is not going to help you. We go to here, we go to lead paint. We add the dates in again, like this. Date. Here, sellers acknowledge. So the sellers acknowledge it. Or sellers has knowledge of lead paint. Usually they don't know if it's lead-based paint, lead-based paint, because it's just, you don't know, and it could be 50 layers deep, or it could be brand new siding. You just don't know. Yep. But then your clients have the ability to waive it, or they can have 10 days to look at it. So a lot of your inspection companies will do the test for you if you pay for it, but it's the buyer's obligation to say yes or no. 90% of my clients have said no. I've only had maybe a handful say yes. So it's one of those things that you can do. And even if you wanted to, you could still do an inspection, and the inspector could still test the paint if you changed your mind. This is just a specific document saying, hey, make sure you know you have the opportunity to test this. And so you go down here, they sign the signatures. You have to sign it as well as an agent. So this is one of the only documents you have to sign. Same thing with arbitration. It has you sign it. We don't sign it in the office. That's what I was taught, because there's pros and cons to arbitration and suing, and we want to give the client most opportunities possible to choose which one they want. So we don't sign the arbitration. So go back, and that's the lead paint. So now once I'm done with that, I go next. So we're moving through the process. Now I'm ready to get this stuff all signed. So now I'm going to go, I saved it as a file. So this saves it as a house. You go to this house piece that saves it there. So when I go to sign-ins, I click sign-ins, I go add. I go transport options. So 9001 Fox Line Drive. What I do is I do this. I always do it. My offers like this 900 Fox Line. And then I do the client's name. I do Larson. So we'll do Larson right here. And so the reason why I do that is it makes my offer slightly different than everybody else's, and they can kind of see a name to it when they're looking at the PDF. Hopefully it just differentiates me a little bit different than anybody else. I don't have a what's it called? I don't have a pre-approval letter. Usually they like to see the pre-approval letter with the same PDF. So what you do is you just upload it. So you click on here, you upload the document. I don't have one right now, so I'm not going to add it right now. I will add it later.
Yep.
So then we're doing it. So I like to do it in this order. I like to do purchase agreement. Then you're gonna do, I do arbitration, personal property. This one, then you have the well and septic, lead paint, base paint addendum. And this property doesn't have the disclosures yet, but if they have the disclosures, it's usually already auto populated in here. So all you got to do is click the disclosure piece. And so making sure that's a part of it. And if it's not a part of it, you can go here. And so we go to disclosures here. Oh, maybe they didn't have them. Okay. I'm going to cancel. So what you can do is you can go add the disclosures in, and then you just upload it in here. So you download them as a PDF and you upload them in if they don't auto populate into here. Okay. So with those ones though, you have to make sure you manually get the signatures on there, because these ones, the ones that aren't, they're a document transferred back into to Instanet. They aren't as they're not as computer friendly, so it doesn't know where the signatures are supposed to go. So it doesn't add them for you. And I'll show you what that I mean by that. So I'm going to add signers. I'm going to add participants. I'm going to add myself. I am the buyers, the listing, no, not listing. I am the selling agent. And so this is your real estate classes telling you selling agent, listing agent, buyer's broker, all these different things. We're usually the selling agent, just so you know. That means we're the buyer's agent. We click save. And then I'm going to add another participant. I'm going to go add from contacts, like we talked about before, making your contacts, because that makes it so much easier to find them. Now I'm clicking the Larsons. I'm selecting both their information, and their stuff is already pre-filled out, so I don't have to do too much. And so now we're going to go to tools. So we're going to go, let's do, click on, I'm the agent, so we'll do buyer's full name. And so we'll do that. That pops right there. We'll do other buyer's full name. So then I don't have to physically type all this stuff out all the time. Do Lauren Larson there. See, now you see how it's all filled out already. It's all good to go. We keep going down here. Scroll. We'll go to the first signatures. These ones we don't really need. A lot of times I delete them just because this is for dual agency. If we are not dual agency, you don't really need them to sign it. We keep scrolling down. See how they're signing it here, and then it'll automatically populate the information that we need. So we're here. It's auto-populating that, auto-populating this. Populates this one as well, here again. And when you do, but then when you get to the disclosure part, you have to put them in yourself. So you have to go sign here, you drag it in, you go, okay, now I got to click the other client, sign in and drag them in. And that's how it works.
Yep. Yeah. Awesome.
And so that's how easy it is. It takes, I mean, it took us about 30 minutes, but realistically, we slowed down, we talked about it, we did all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And then from this point forward, Jake, then we can't do it on here, but then you just click to send for the signers, right?
Yep. You click next right here.
Okay.
And so when you click next, and then you can say finalize signing setup, and you click send. And then what you can do, the new authentic sign is pretty cool because you can send reminders. So it says, okay, send multiple reminders until they signed it. And that's a cool system. And you can customize invites. I just send it out, and it goes, whoever wants to sign it can sign it. There's no first come, first serve. It doesn't have to go to Caleb, then to Lauren, then to me. It's just whoever sees it first can sign it right away. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
But that's how that works. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. But when we do this though, make sure when we go back, and let's go back right here, we'll go back. And back again. Yep, I'm gonna say okay because I don't really need that. Okay, we'll just go this way. So we'll just go back here. So go back to forms. We're just going back to the transaction desk. So when we go here though, now your documents, all your information saved in this house thing. So you see it, Foxline right here. So I click on Foxline. I have all these documents in here. So if I need to redo them, I need to do something differently, whatever the case may be, I can do that. But the best way to do it is go to your settings though when you first start. And when you go down to here, there is transaction templates. you go to transaction templates, you can create a template. So if you're doing a lot of new construction with small builders, you might do a template for new construction. So you do new construction, prep or whatever. It's like, and then you do, okay, you add residential sale. And then you do description, you type in the description, and you can add the paperwork you want specific to that. So that's how we have all these transaction templates. So I have the Bannermere template. If I want to add to it, I go to documents right here. And, oh, sorry, not documents. Where is it? Forms. So I can add forms. So I go add forms and I go, okay, well, I keep getting lead paint homes. So I'm going to add the lead paint disclosure. We'll do a lead paint disclosure. Purchase agreement, lead paint. There we go, right there. And then if I need something specific in there, what I can do is I can even edit it even farther and going, okay, I keep getting the same things. I'm doing the same contracts. Okay, I'm going to is not or this. Click these, and then it'll save it for you this way. So when you pull it up, you can change it, but it's already auto-populated for you. So it saves you a lot of time. So that's the tip I give you. That's the thing you should do before you even write offers. I go create a transaction desk, and we'll send you out a list of what the main documents you're going to need for a basic purchase agreement are going to be. And then with other specific and unique transactions, you just add stuff as needed. So does that answer all your questions?
Yeah, no, that's good. A couple things here. So now you get this, everybody signs it. Then what happens? Your two clients sign it, you sign it. Then what happens as far as getting it to the listing agent?
Yep. And I forgot about that part. So here's the next part. So what we'll do is, let's say these are all signed. So right here, this one isn't signed, but this one, let's say this one right here is signed. This is a buyer rep. So we'll just do this one so you can see. I can view as a PDF. Once I view it as a PDF, I'll download it, save it, go to my emails. I'll go here, and here's how to be quick. You go here, you just copy and paste everything. You go, okay, here we go. Dan, whatever his name is. I pop that bad boy in here. I do this up here, copy and paste. Oh, not link, crap. There we go. Copy and paste, do that. This one I like to do Larson's too, or whoever the client is, I do their last name, Larson. Let's just say that.
Yep.
Then when I do it, I just hit this piece, drop that in. If you don't have the pre-approval letter, you just add that a part of it too. Some people do like a cover letter as in a PDF format. I'm not a big fan of that. I prefer to do it this way. And so in your Google email, you can create templates. So they're just pre-saved messages. So I get the same questions a lot. So I do this. So I go offer price, whatever. So I reevaluate it. So we did 445, I think. We'll do 445. Earnest money, we did 5,000. So we edit that. Appraisal gap, we set up to $5,000. I said no hassle inspection. Closing date is whatever, doesn't matter. Then each time I do a transaction, a lot of times it's a different lender for every transaction, or I have like a couple used lenders that I use, so that will vary. But we as a team always use the same title company. So I have Carmen, her information already programmed in here. We have Brenda, our transaction coordinator, her information already programmed in here. And if there's anything specific I want to tell about the clients or about the information, I just type it in here and we're good to go. And you already have this stuff in templates like this, so you don't have to redo it every single time because you're going to go crazy.
That's great.
It takes you 15 minutes just to do this, and you're going to go crazy from doing it because you're like, why is it
trying to remember everything? And it's like on this way, it's all there. You don't have to try and remember it when you're probably in a hurry and in a situation where you need to hurry up and get this in, and you don't want to be just causes it's a lot less stressful on you as well.
Yeah. And almost every time you're making an offer, it's like you're trying to leave the house because I was supposed to go out to New Year's Eve party, but my clients called me and they want to make an offer on a property. There's always something going on. So this will save you so much time. Or even like I told you the one time where I went to showed a house. I was driving to Wisconsin to go on a lazy river. And then once I got to Wisconsin, I parked my car, put my hotspot on. I did it. And I did it in 7 minutes. I wrote the offer, perfect offer, sent it in, got my offer accepted 2 hours later when I was on the river. So it saves you so much time. Yep. And you're going to feel a lot better if you can get quick at this, but it's practice and doing stuff like that too, but saving these templates, saving the forms that you're
no, that's awesome, Jake. This is really good. One last question for you. I think one last question. I did this, I put it in the email, I sent the email off. what else do you do with the listing agent? Do you
So
contact them?
before
any
I
other way?
write the offer up, I call the agents and I go, hey, how's it going? What do you want? What do you want in an offer? What do you like? And I even ask them, I go, hey, do you have anything specific? Do you like a purchase agreement written a certain way? Do you like documents in a certain way? Usually they don't, but every once in a while you have somebody that goes, I like it this way, this way, this way, this way. So then you make it fit what they like. But you ask them, hey, when do you want to close? Is there anything that's non-monetary that we can do to make our offer more appealing? What else can we do? What can we offer? That kind of deal. Once I send the offer over, I either text or call them. And then two, when they say like, hey, highest and best is at, let's say 6 o'clock, whatever it is, 6 o'clock on Sunday. I'm calling them at 5:50 on Sunday, double checking. Hey, if there's anything you need changed, anything you want to do with us, whatever I can do to make our offer more appealing, call me and we will make that work. We'll do whatever we can do to help you help us win this. And so you have those conversations, you have those phone calls, you do that stuff, you're going to be beating out 98% of agents because Babette, we were talking about this with her yesterday. She said most 90% of people she doesn't even hear from. They just send an email and they go, oh, it's like, what if you don't get confirmation? It's like, what if you don't, people just do it. We don't want to be like everybody else. We want to be the top percentage. So we want to call them. We want to harass them. We want to be on top of these agents and making sure that they like us, they trust us, and they want to work with us specifically. And I've had multiple offers that were accepted. They go, hey, we have the exact same offer with somebody else, but because of the conversation I had with you, I knew you were going to get it done. So that's why we chose it. It's like the client said, hey, pick one, and I picked it. And so you can win by doing those simple things. And it's not hard. It's not that difficult. It's just being a better agent than the 99%.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome, Jake. This was terrific. Great information. Yeah, no, this is great. I appreciate it. And I think this is some great ideas, great ways of doing this to make it more efficient and very thorough with what you do. So appreciate your time. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Talk to you soon. See ya.